Tucker Carlson sat down with Elon Musk last night. People are always interested in what Elon Musk has to say. And Tucker asked him about Twitter losing 80% of its workforce once he took over.
At Twitter, one of the great business stories of the year.
I think we're about 20% of the original size.
So 80% left.
Yes.
So
I mean, a lot of people voluntarily.
Sure. But it's 80% are gone from the day you took over.
That's correct. Yes.
So how do you run the company with only 20% of the staff?
It turns out you don't need that many people to run Twitter.
But 80%? That's a lot.
Yes. If you're not trying to run some sort of glorified activist organization and you're not care that much about censorship, then you can really let go of a lot of people, turns out.
Get rid of a lot of people, it turns out. 80%.
If you're not going to be an activist organization, nice. The two had a nice moment, too, where Elon and Tucker discussed the New York Times. And it was a little something like this.
Of their badge, and then you called them diarrhea. You did. I'm just quoting you.
Yeah.
You described their Twitter feed as diarrhea.
I said it was the Twitter equivalent of diarrhea.
Okay, it's not literally diarrhea.
No, it's it's a metaphor.
That's awesome. So true, too.
Elon also talked about free speech and the difference between he and Mark Zuckerberg and Facebook.
The goal of new Twitter is to be as fair and even-handed as possible. So not favoring any political ideology, but just being fair at all.
Why doesn't Facebook do this? I know that Zuckerberg has said, and I take him at face value, that he. I do actually in this way, that he is a kind of old-fashioned liberal who doesn't like to censor. He has, but why wouldn't a company like that take the stand that you have taken, which is pretty rooted in American traditional political custom, for free speech?
My understanding is that Zuckerberg spent $400 million in the last election, nominally in a get-out-the-vote campaign, but really fundamentally in support of Democrats. Is that accurate or not accurate?
That is accurate. Yes.
Does that sound unbiased to you?
No, it doesn't.
Yes.
So you don't see hope that Facebook will approach this as a non-aligned arbiter? You've allowed Donald Trump back on Twitter. He hasn't taken you up on your offer because he's got his own thing.
Right.
Do you think he will go back on Twitter?
Well, that's obviously up to him. My job is to, I take the freedom of speech just very seriously. So it's I didn't vote for Donald Trump. I actually voted for Biden. Not saying I'm a huge fan of Biden, because I think that would probably be inaccurate. But we have difficult choices to make in these presidential elections. It's not. I would prefer, frankly, that we put someone, just a normal person, as president. Yep. A normal person with common sense, and whose values are smack in the middle of the country. Center of the normal distribution, and I think that would be great.
He also talked about the kind of access the federal government had at Twitter, including users' personal communications.
The degree to which various government agencies had effectively had full access to everything that was going on Twitter blew my mind. I was not aware of that.
Would that include people's DMs?
Yes. Yes, because the DMs are not encrypted. So one of the things that we're about to release is the ability to encrypt your DMs.
That's pretty heavy duty, though, because a lot of well-known people, reporters talking to their sources, government officials, the richest people in the world, they're DMing each other. And the assumption, obviously, it was incorrect, but was that that's private, but that was being read by various governments.
Yeah, that seems to be, yes.
Yep.
It's scary.
Yes, it is. So, like I said, we're moving to have the DMs be optionally encrypted. I mean, there's like a lot of DM conversations which are, just chatting with friends. It's not important.
Of course.
It's hopefully coming out later this month, but no later than next month, is the ability to toggle encryption on or off. So if you are in a conversation you think is sensitive, you can just toggle encryption on, and then no one at Twitter can see what you're talking about. They could put a gun to my head and I couldn't tell. I couldn't. That's sort of the gun to the head test. If somebody puts a gun to my head, and can I still not see your DMs? That's the acid test.
Yes.
And that's how it should be if you want your.
Have you had complaints from various governments about doing this?
I haven't had direct complaints to me. I've had sort of like some indirect complaints. I think people are a little concerned about complaining to me directly in case I tweet about it. They're like, uh-oh. So they're sort of trying to be more roundabout than that. I mean, if I got something that was unconstitutional from the U.S. government, I would say, my reply would be to send them a copy of the First Amendment and just say, like, what part of this are we getting wrong?
All right. Cool. More coming up in just a minute.
Gray Unleashed.